This is Yep and That Too, hosted by Kerrie Roberts and Aaron Rice, a podcast for creatives discussing the craft and artistry of redefining success as we learn to maneuver through life with joy, contentment, and confidence.
Hey guys, welcome to Yep and That Too. We are so excited once again that you have chosen to spend time with us. We're so thankful to just be able to hang out with some awesome people and share with you once again what it means to be a creative in this life, to redefine success and to find joy. So here I am with my co-host, Aaron Rice, and we have a very special guest.
We do have a special guest. Lana Scott is with us. Lana is a friend that I also get to work with, which is always fun when you get to actually enjoy the people you work with. And for the most part, I really do. And it's really awesome. So, but we're here with Lana Scott. Hey, Lana.
Hi, Aaron. Hello. I'm really excited to be here. I've been listening in, and when you asked me, I got very excited. So thanks for having me.
Yes. And we're going to make you sing. So...
Perfect.
Excited about that. You guys may or may,
she lives for.
You guys may or may not know Lana. Lana was a semifinalist on this past season of the NBC show The Voice. So Lana is just a fantastic vocalist.
Oh.
So I'm getting off-camera notes to explain why I'm holding the mic. If you did not catch the last one, yes, this mic should be shock-mounted. I borrowed it from our friend Cooper.
Cooper!
Because I forgot all the audio equipment to do this today. And so I was scrambling at the last minute, and he sent me a mic with a broken shock mount. So, thanks, Cooper. Anyway, yes, so get the awkward out of the way. But Lana Scott, Lana is here. Semifinalist on The Voice this year.
Yeah.
Team Blake.
Team Blake.
One show further than Jeremy Rosado.
He loves pointing that out. I love Jeremy Rosado, one of my best friends from the season.
Jeremy, I say that. You guys, if you know me, you know Jeremy is family to me. He's one of my favorite people in the world.
Yes.
Jeremy's how we met.
Yes, yep, through Jeremy.
At the end of the show, Jeremy was like, hey, you know, there are other artists that need a team or whatever. And so Lana and I met at a coffee shop, and it was one of those things where it's like, hey, I need a team. And I'm like, well, I'm a lawyer, but also, you know, and that too.
And that too, yeah.
And that too.
And that too. And so it was like, hey, can you help with this? Yep. And this? Yep. And so it was yep and that too. So, and then, you know, she was like, okay, well, I'll think about it. We'll get back in touch. And then like 2 hours later,
Next day.
she texted me and was like, okay, like we've got to work together.
Yeah.
So we're working together now. It's a lot of fun. But so yes, Jeremy, the little dig but he is how we met.
Well, you know, I love thinking about that, because what I was telling to my family and friends at the time about you was, I'm like, this guy is like too good to be true. Like, I need to just pause and take
Let's just
this
stop
in.
there. Let's just stop right there. All right, next episode.
Hey, we'll get to know each other better. So
No, just like, he's so joyful. He knows what he's doing. He also has a past in songwriting, so he's passionate about music. He's not just all business, and nothing against that. But I'm like, this is a rare breed, and I did need to process a little, like, you know, later on. But I just thought, I don't need to know like where the grass is greener, because this grass is bright green, it's vibrant. I'm just going to say yes, you know, because I just think like God puts people in situations in your life for a reason, and you can't sleep too long on it. You got to run with it. And I am so happy that I have been. And we've been working together. Yeah.
Agreed.
about the grass, it was a good metaphor.
Aaron's like, come on.
And
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes. So thanks, Jeremy, for and Jeremy will be on soon. So,
Oh, sweet.
Yes, you know, you did it before him. And
I beat you, Jeremy.
so, but let's talk about The Voice.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that we were so like excited to have you on here is not just that you did The Voice. And not just that, I mean, you were Team Blake and you made the live shows, and then you like kept making the live shows and kept and made it all the way to the semifinals, which is a great story.
Yeah.
But
Huge.
in your path to success, people would consider that success. In your path to success, it took a couple tries.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk about this. So tell about your journey with the TV show.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. I love sharing this part. I actually talk about this often at gigs, and I'm grateful for this platform to share this. So I auditioned for The Voice for the first time when I was 19, and I think it was season 3, and it was back in the day, and I made it to the callback. I went to the cattle call where there are 2-day audition, thousands of people. And so for me, just to get to the callback was very exciting because all these talented people were just coming in and out, and I'm like, wow. And then I didn't make it through to the interview, but I walked away and I knew that this was a crossroads moment in my life where I could either be really discouraged by this or I could see my almost as a success in itself. And I chose the latter, and I ended up going back and auditioning again, and then skip a year, I went back again, and never, there's a few different rounds before the blind auditions that people see on TV, and I was like right before the blinds a few times in a row, and I just thought, there's got to be a reason for this, but I just kept hitting that same spot, and finally, they started asking me to come, and I'm never going to say no to an opportunity knocking on the door. And I said yes. And next thing you know, I'm on the blinds and made it all the way to the top 8. So 6 times the charm is my new motto. It took me 6 times to make it, and then just to have made it so far. And it's crazy because if I had made it before, the experience would have been completely different. I didn't really know who I was as an artist as much as I wanted to be on the show. And I really think the timing was right.
I love see my almost as a success. Like that's a tagline.
Yeah, that's great.
New song.
New song. Yeah, we're going to just turn this into a co-write now. I love what you're saying in the fact of like, you didn't know who you were as an artist. And I think too, it's just having wisdom to know that so much of these shows too, like it's about casting. It's not, it doesn't even say anything about your talent. Like true, maybe you didn't know who you were as an artist, but like vocally, like your stage presence, everything was still there. You're still the package that you always were. And it just wasn't the time to like fit you in.
Right.
And that is for like TV shows. That is for like the market. That is for so many things where timing is so important. And so the way to be there at the right time is just to always show up.
Yes.
Which is what you did.
I love that. Always show up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I'll tell people all the time, not getting your name on that contract does not diminish your talent.
Right.
But it's so hard not to take that personally. And you had to go, I'm choosing to say, you know what? Yeah, I didn't get where I wanted, but I got further than I did last time.
Yeah.
Or I got further than if I didn't go. And, the egotistical side would maybe even be, I got further than a lot of people, but you did. You know what I mean? And so it's finding those things that the whole reason we're doing this podcast. What keeps you going?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get there, what keeps you going? Right? So,
yeah.
So looking forward, I mean, you're in this time of just like incredible excitement, I'm sure, right?
There's
like,
lots.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
You've tried over and over and over, and now finally it's happened, and you've had like all this success. And now is the time, like people think, oh, I've reached it. It's like, oh no, not in a depressing way, but like you're at the bottom of the mountain now, and now you get to like climb.
That's very similar to what Blake Shelton said to me.
Well,
yes.
we're not friends, but yeah, I mean, so that's exciting to me. What are your like challenges, and what are you excited about right now in this time? Because you have experienced the show over and over in audition, but this is the first time you've experienced this.
Right. Yeah. Well, with the show, I think so much about it is stamina and your mental health.
Having the guts to do it. Like,
yeah,
that's
the
a lot.
guts. Yeah. Knowing who you are and just kind of, I think, enjoying the pressure of it and being able to turn the pressure into passion. And so I like the adrenaline of all of that and kind of being able to decompartmentalize as you're walking onto that stage and there's this countdown for millions of people to watch you and, no pressure, but just believing deep down in your heart that you are called for this and you're meant to do it. And that's what I would do and just like living in it. Cause I'm like, I think honestly, the fact that I auditioned so many times helped me do as well as I did because I was so grateful to be there. It didn't come easy. You know, when you have to work for something, when you finally get it, you can't help but be all in and leave it all on the table.
So the almost also had purpose.
Yeah. Yes. There's purpose in everything, I think, if you let there be, right?
Have the eyes to see it.
And every audition, too, makes you, I think, has an opportunity to make you better because you're putting yourself out there. Every time you put yourself out there, it's a learning experience.
Well, and we've all had friends that have gone through similar processes, right? And the ones that come off and that are successful understand that it's not just I'm a great singer or I did so-and-so, whatever. Like, we've had this conversation, not in front of people. Man, there were 32 beasts of singers on that show, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but you guys formed a little bond and you guys are all helping each other out. Love that sort of camaraderie. But it's not just, a lot of times America looks and goes, oh, the best singer won. And it's like, did they?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's not about being the best singer. It is so much
It's about the
other
process
stuff.
of the voice
but
itself.
then you come off the voice, like, I mean, you're getting stopped and like we go to coffee and people are stopping to take your picture or whatever.
Yeah.
But then like you sit down with me or other songwriters or publishers, producers, whatever, and they're like, okay, the song's almost there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's the TV show industry. And I mean, the voice has had great singers, but translating that to commercial success afterward can sometimes be a challenge. What is that process like for you? I know what it is, but I'm asking you to share.
Right. Well, like you said earlier, like I said, Blake said this to me too, is, you guys take this in, enjoy this. And he's been there since season 1, so he knows what he's talking about. And he's a very successful country artist. There's that too. But he's like, once this show's over, you're going to be starting from the bottom, just trying to get up to this kind of exposure again. And it's going to be hard, And so I appreciated that. It was sobering and also really good for me to hear that. Because you just think, oh, after the show, maybe things just get handed to you, but you have to work. I've never worked harder in my life. I'm out here. I'm learning. I packed up my bags and moved from LA to Nashville right after the show ended. So last time on the stage at The Voice was mid-December. I was in Nashville, moved in February 1st. I'm like, I got to strike while the iron's hot. Yes. I want to keep going. And it's my leap of faith is what I call it. But I'm learning so much about the industry that, they just don't teach you in school, and you can't learn this part at The Voice, because like you said, The Voice is a TV show. And here it's like learning, with you to be seen by, for example, labels and publishers. You have to have a package ready of polished demos, and not just 1 or 2, but you've got to have 6 or 7 and getting it all together. And so much of it just really takes a village, and it's a long process, but I'm enjoying it.
And we had that conversation our first meeting. I said, look, I'm not going to be the fastest.
Yep.
I said, well, I'm not going to start calling labels tomorrow. I'm not. Actually, I have a pretty strict, I don't pitch policy. I don't pitch unless I feel good about it. No guarantee I'm going to get you a deal, no guarantee, whatever. But I have a pretty strict, I don't pitch policy. Now, I have pitched. I am helping pitch you. Like, so are other writers and producers and, whatever. I'm not. But we did have that conversation. I said, hey, I don't think you're ready yet. And the normal person would have been like, wait, what?
Bye.
I just got off the show and you need to look, you need to read the press. And I'm like, yes, but I also know, the industry looks at reality shows and goes, okay, that's great. That's a TV show. Those are fans of The Voice. We need to make them fans of Lana Scott.
Right.
And we're doing that. But also, you ended up with somebody who's like, no, I'm going to dive into your songs, and we're going to make sure you're with great songwriters, and you are expanding your craft as a songwriter, which you are. You are an artist who actually also contributes in a room.
Oh, yeah. So, I'm loving it. It's great.
But a lot of people would have been like, all right, I'm going to find somebody who's going to start calling people right now.
Yeah.
What was that like when you left that conversation? You're like, this dude.
Actually, no. I think you're right that would be a common response. But I truly know. I think because I'm not 20 or 19 anymore. I know that really good things take time and don't come easy. And, you didn't take away from anything I accomplished. You were like, that's great, amazing, but we have a lot of work to do. And I'm very much like, let's be real. Let's tell it like it is. Like, I'm not expecting, I would have been nervous if you had said the opposite and been like, oh, it's going to be a piece of cake. I'll get you signed next week. I'd be like, okay, hold on. Something's not right there. Cause I know that it can't be that simple. So I just appreciated that. And I grew up writing songs, and I have just a lot of original songs, and you've heard some of them, and you've said you really liked some. And but I knew that I wanted to write more songs in this new season, and so you being on board with that and wanting to help with facilitating that made me really excited, because I'm in LA. There's not a lot of country people to co-write with, and I'm from Virginia, not from LA, but I was living out there, and most of my friends do, pop or soul or R&B. And so it's hard to find the right co-writes. But out here, I'm loving it. And it's all coming together. And I feel like the stories are being told that I really wanted to tell.
And you also have the thing that a lot of creatives lack, but need more than anything. And that is a work ethic.
Oh,
your work ethic. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Is
I appreciate that.
Your work ethic, and I've told you this. I'm like, she's a hard worker, and I'm like, and sometimes I forget, because I'm always like, oh, Lana, do this, and you're like, hey, I need to sleep too. So it's that's awesome. Your work ethic.
I'm wearing all the hats right now. I'll tell you, I'm my own booking agent. I'm my own manager. I'm editing all my videos on social media. Like, I'm doing it all
for the moment.
For the moment. But you know what?
And part of that is strategy.
Yeah.
On purpose. So, which we won't dive into here. But.
Totally. Yeah. And it's good to be aware of what it takes to do that, so that when 100%. I have a team, which is being formed right now, like, I will know how to communicate with them, and I'll know how to appreciate what they're doing, because I've had to do it. So,
and you're building the brand that is speaking the things and looking the way that you want it to look.
Right.
So it's a beautiful place to be able to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lana Scott, not the voice.
Yeah.
Because you've done a lot of other things that were continually propelling you to do these things.
Right. Yeah. Well, I grew up singing, and I did a little musical theater when I was younger. I loved all that, just being on stage, dancing, acting.
What shows?
I did Annie. Annie was my first one.
Were you actually Annie? You had to have been.
Listen, I was almost Annie. I sang the song "I'll Come Out," and they were like,
"She went for 6 years in a row." No, I'm just kidding.
But then a girl ran in the room with freckles and red hair.
Oh, done.
And then it was like,
sorry.
No, but it's okay. It was good. Again, character building moments. But I did Spring Awakening, like Elsa. That was a dream role.
Nice.
Did hair.
Yeah.
I did All Shook Up.
Okay.
Just lots of that. That was a lot of fun. And I went to an arts high school called Governor School for the Arts in Virginia. They're amazing. That was where I actually realized I could make a career out of music. I was always the singer in my group of friends, and I was like kind of the black sheep. And when I went to that school, suddenly people from all over Virginia were going to this school after their normal school for the second half of the day. And we all were creatives. And suddenly we had teachers in our lives telling us, you can actually do this. It's going to be hard, but you can do this. Yeah. So that's what motivated me to go to college for art, and did performing arts at SCAD. I was continuing the theater thing, but I was always in the basement writing my own songs on the piano with my own voice. And I knew I was doing well there, and I loved it, but I knew that I wanted, the best way to describe it was like, I want to be me on stage now.
Yes.
And it felt really scary, but I'm like, I have to try. And I'm very much like, you only live once. So I just took a big leap of faith once again, and I moved, I went to Berkeley and auditioned for that school, not knowing if I would get in, not knowing if I could even afford it. And I found out on my birthday that I had gotten in and that they'd given me scholarship. So I remember just crying and being so excited. So that was where I really came into my own as a singer-songwriter artist, beyond the acting side of being another role. Put my band together, had my fiddle player, had the bass and 3-part harmonies, loved it. I got the experience of gigging and, facilitating all the rehearsals and the work that it takes to build a band, Everybody there is just doing that on their own, grassroots in it. And Then I sang on cruise ships for a while that they had auditions through Berkeley, and I had never even been on a cruise, but I was like, how cool would it be to make money doing what I love? Just to go on a cruise and get paid for it. And they hired me. I did that for a few years and paid off some college, learned a lot. Like getting thrown into singing 4 hours a night, 6 nights a week. Like
that's a lot.
That took a lot. And I knew in that moment, like, you know, this isn't the end goal for me. Some people make careers out of it, and I loved it, but I knew, I'm like, I want to.
It's still not your songs. It's not you being yourself of what you wanted. Yeah.
But it felt really validating to be on those ships and realizing I can do this every night. I love it. I love singing to a different crowd every week and connecting with people through songs. And I was very blessed and lucky to get to sing original songs on the ships I was on too. Awesome. So I would sneak that in there.
Yeah.
Moved to LA. Put a band together, lots of open mics, lots of songwriting, lots of recording, and auditions. I mean, that was a big reason. And I knew a lot of people from school out in LA, so that was a big reason why I moved there. But Nashville was always just calling my name.
So basically, overnight success.
Always.
Right? Yeah, it's a long story.
It was really easy.
Everything leads to every little thing matters, and yeah, it all matters.
So along the way, what was your version of success? How did that change, and what kept you going?
Yeah.
Or has it changed?
Yeah. I've said really since maybe high school that as if I can do what I love and make a living, then I will succeed. And I've been pretty open-minded to what that looks like for a long time. Because again, like I loved theater. I loved singing in church. I loved writing my own music. I love singing behind people that I believe in. Like if you're an amazing artist and friend and I can support you and add some harmonies, like I've been very open to all of that. But in the last, 3 to 4 years, I'm much more narrowed in. I've developed the bravery to believe in just pursuing my own career as an artist, because that's always been what I've wanted the most. And again, life's too short, so that's what I'm chasing. But again, with everything that I'm pursuing in Nashville, I cannot predict what's going to happen this year, next year with these songs that are coming out and pitching to people. Like that's not in my control. But what I've been saying and speaking over myself lately is that as long as I'm enjoying the process and I'm believing in the songs I'm writing and I'm making a living, then I'm good. Yeah. And so I can truly sit here and tell you, like, I feel like I'm thriving right now because I'm making songs that I really believe in. I'm enjoying the process. And I feel like that's the secret to success, at least for me.
I love, goodness, that you're exuding joy and confidence, and you have peace in where you are. And I 100% believe you when you say that you're thriving. And I'm just so excited because you're excited and you're in this place, and that you have the courage to be what you were saying, like, it's kind of what I like always wanted. And you're making these, sort of just like cushions to the side, but I like this and I like this, but this is what I really want in a quiet voice. And now you're saying, this is what I really want, and I'm here and I'm going to do it, and I'm building my team. And I love seeing that. And we just met. It's not like I know you, but I just love seeing that with the person that just has like the thing that you have going on, which is like just, a genuine person. Oh, so I'm really excited.
But did you catch how she said it though? She said, then I got the bravery to go for what I really wanted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you love doing this and this and this and this and this, and you could be happy and fulfilled and make a living doing that. But you finally got the bravery to just go, I'm all in and I'm going for it. And if it doesn't work, I can still live a happy life, or doesn't quote unquote work for whatever that looks like. But we're seeing a theme of, as long as I can if I can keep my lights on doing what I love, that's success.
Yeah.
But the world doesn't see it that way. But it's like, I tell people all the time, they're like, what about the people? Don't they get stuck on Broadway? Like, don't they get stuck playing whatever? And I'm like, you can call it stuck, but then you're getting up at 6 a.m. after you went and watched them and gave them tips and money, then you're getting up at 6 to go to your job that you may hate. Mm-hmm. They actually just played songs all night, loved it, and are going home and they're sleeping till noon.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Do it again.
And then they get to do it again.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's this thing where people are like, oh, they're stuck doing small gigs or stuck whatever. I'm like, but they love what they're doing and they're eating and they're feeding their families.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the songs you are writing now, you just released a single.
Yes.
Called Country Girl Guarantee.
Yes.
And we are going
excited.
to make you sing that right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's beautiful. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
Was raised up on tradition, just south of Mason-Dixon. Yeah, I knew all my neighbors by name. If it needs getting done, it's gonna. I got that from my mama, but you can bet I'll do it my way. And no matter where I go, they all better know the southern side of me is gonna stay. If you're anything but subtle, the right kind of troubleshooting doubles, cause you get them for free. If you ain't scared of nothing with a heart made for loving, they trust you cause you say what you mean. Always takes a little while with the sweet in your tea, and that's a dirt and pearls rock your world. Country girl guarantee. Hey. If I got it, then I earned it. I worked hard for it. I ain't too shy to roll up my sleeves. But when he takes me downtown, sure enough, I'm showing out. I'll clean up like you wouldn't believe. If you're anything but subtle, the right kind of troubleshooting doubles, cause you get him for free. If you ain't scared of nothing with a heart made for loving, and they trust you cause you say what you mean. Always makes a little wild with the sweet in your tea, and that's a dirt and pearls rock your world. Country girl guarantee. Yeah. For all the country girls like me, what you get is what you see. Yeah, all the country girls like me, you can dress it how you wanna, you're always gonna be anything but subtle, the right kind of troubleshooting doubles, cause you got him for free. If you ain't scared of nothing with a heart made for loving, and they trust you cause you say what you mean. Always makes a little wild with the sweet in your tea, and that's a dirt and pearls rock your world. Country girl guarantee.
I love that song. I love it because there's like things about it that I can relate to, even though I would never write a song like that. I would be just like, I'm a country girl, but I love the line about like, yeah, I get that from my mama, but I'm going to do it my own way.
Yes.
It's like, yes, that is me. Absolutely.
I love that.
So I'm very excited for people to hear it. I think a lot of people, even people who wouldn't say that they are country, are going to relate to it and sound
good.
awesome. And it's just fun. It's a fun song.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you know I love that song. Also, you wrote that with Cooper, a
With
good
Cooper.
friend of ours.
Cooper
And he
Bascom.
produced it. And tell us about the song.
Yeah. Well, y'all just heard, my whole story because you asked me for it. Y'all asked. But that song is about no matter where you go. Like I said, I've traveled kind of all around, ships, different states. But I believe when you're born and brought up with deep core roots and values that I would call country, they stay with you. People are like, don't go to Boston and New England. You're going to change. Like, they're not nice up there, but I've just always been me, and I really feel like, or the same with people have, stereotypes with LA, but I think what you put out, you find back. And so the song to me is what it means to me to be country, like working hard, earning what you have, like taking time, being patient, even the line, like, they trust you because you say what you mean, like, be genuine, be sincere. I mean, I could just quote the whole song, but it's just, you gotta listen to it.
It's so good. You can get it on all the places, Spotify, Apple
Also,
Music.
I feel like it's been so long since, maybe it's just me, but since we've had a good
Like
feel
country
good-
anthem.
Yes, like girl anthem, girl power.
I felt that too, especially when the
wild.
bridge was happening. I was like, yeah.
I just want to make people feel good and have a good, summer
It's very
song.
anthemic.
Thank you.
Yeah. Feeling it.
Sure, girl power.
Sorry, Erin. Sarah?
Whatever.
So, what's happening now?
What's happening now? Well, like I said,
What's happening now that you can share?
now that I can share,
Or
right?
what you're allowed to share.
What am I? I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
Well, okay, so you just hosted, well, not just.
Oh, okay.
But let's talk about some things that are important to you.
Yes.
Yes.
I would love to share that. Thank you, Erin. Because I talk about this a lot with you. So I was in Nashville for a couple months, excited. Wheels started turning. Things were starting to happen. I was very grateful, but I felt like I was missing something. And I just woke up and I had this clarity. I'm like, I need to get involved in the community. That's how I'm going to feel like I live here. Like, that's what's going to make this feel like home for me. So I went to a cafe and I just Googled a bunch of causes that I relate to, like different hospitals. And I was very close with my grandmother who passed, who I'm named after. And then AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I've lost 2 friends to suicide growing up. Very hard to go through. It's awful. It doesn't matter the age, it's never easy. And I knew during that season that as a musician and an artist that I wanted most of my music to exude encouragement or joy or just be uplifting, because music is so powerful and it really can get you through a hard season. So I made a phone call. They ended up asking me to collaborate. I hosted AFSP's Tennessee chapter inaugural event called Be the Light. We raised over $20,000 for the charity. And now with Country Girl Guarantee, just had a release party that collaborated with AFSP again. And I'm really excited to just be working alongside such a great cause. They're not afraid to really roll up their sleeves and put their hands in good soil, and just to be affiliated and help however I can has been really great.
And at the end of this episode, we're going to play another song called Permanent that I heard for the first time at that event when you were hosting. And there's something really cool. It's, you'll hear the lyrics, but, at one point it says, it says something about, the road that you're on and turn around and seeing roses through the cracks. I'll be able to face the hurt in it because this isn't permanent, which is a great,
It's such a good rhyme.
I was like, first of all, songwriting, great rhyme.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
the rhyme was just.
And I was like, but then, when you sang it there, why you sang it. So we're gonna play that at the end of this, kind of after we wrap it up. But I love that not only are you saying, hey, these are causes I care about, but then you're being inspired by those kind of things, and you're writing the songs that, that are just real in real life to that. So,
I love it. So every week we share moments that have inspired us, whatever that is. Do you have something that has inspired you this past week?
it's okay if it's me.
Erin Rice.
I make that joke about every 4th episode.
Your earrings.
Oh, yes, thank you.
No, they remind me actually of what I think I'm
They're from a boutique here. I'll hook you up.
Please do.
Yes.
Shout out?
Yes.
Boutique? You're going to shout it out? No.
Yes.
I thought about this question and
I'm like, yes, what? Riveter. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was like, she's not allowed to say
no,
it.
absolutely. Riveter. Everyone go. Yes.
I woke up this morning. Hear me out. Okay, I'm a lover of nature, so of course this is nature-based. Yeah, yes. Woke up this morning to a thunderstorm, okay? I thought nothing of it. I started to go back to sleep. I woke up again, and I had this just moment where I realized, almost like again as a child, how amazing a thunderstorm really is. And as we get older, things start to feel normal, whatever that is. We get used to things. And it made me think this morning as I was in bed, I was like, man, in LA, where I spent the last 5 years of my life, it never rains, ever. And when it does, people run out in it. They document it. It's on their Instagram. So they're like, it's raining. It's a celebration. And then when I moved to Nashville, the first week it was raining, and I loved it. And I'm at the store and everyone's like, oh man, the rain. But I'm just like, it's great though. I haven't had it in so long. And so all this to say is I want to be someone who's actively practicing appreciating things as best as I can, like it's the first time. And, that's not possible. We're not, children anymore, but when you're spending time with a toddler and, you go to the zoo or the park and they're seeing things for the first time, I feel like there is that ability in us as adults to feel that feeling of excitement again. And I got so excited this morning. Like before I went, I stayed awake and I enjoyed the sound for a while. And yeah, just thinking like, wow, the sky is roaring right now and rain is falling from it. Like, I don't want to ever be used to that or just ignore it. So I want to channel that into my songwriting too, in the sense of, sure, it's another storm. I've seen a storm before, but every storm is actually different. Nature's never the same. You're never going to see the same sunset twice.
Yeah.
And so I just got engaged and I'm going to write a song about it.
Yeah.
And part of me in my mind, I've been thinking, oh, there's so many songs about finding the love of your life.
It's yours.
But this thunderstorm has me thinking, no, but this is going to be my song about it. Like every storm's different. Every song's different. There's space, So
There's definitely space.
that's mine.
Yeah. I forget who said it, but we're something like, there's miracles all around us every day, but we just call them normal things. And that, it's beautiful.
Good. Yeah.
I love that. Yes, literally.
All right. Well, I'm going to go because this is a book that I'm loving right now called Inheriting Paradise, Meditations on Gardening.
Ooh.
So he's drawing in spirituality. It's the most scary book you've ever. I'm like, oh,
I love you.
It's so on brand for you.
It's so on brand for me. So I just love, I have to read, I'm going to read 2 little quotes from here.
Our inspiration moments.
Story time.
Our inspiration moments are typically Kerrie reading to story time with Kerrie.
Story time with
It
Kerrie.
is as if you went to your public library and
The best public library ever.
and the old lady who just left her garden.
Oh, lady.
Yep. All right, continue.
You know what?
I can't wait.
Aaron's heart is in the wrong place. Y'all pray
I'm so
for him.
entertained right now. I'm loving this.
All right. Now, quiet, children.
Exactly.
Aaron, I'm going to separate you from the group. All right, ready? You're going to love this, truly. Okay, ready? When I garden, earth and earthworm pass beneath my fingers, and I realize that I am made of the same stuff. When I pinch the cucumber vine and the water drips from the capillaries to soil, I can feel the blood coursing through my body. Man is a microcosm in whose flesh resonates and reverberates the pulse of the whole creation, in whose mind creation comes to consciousness, and through whose imagination and will God wants to heal and reconcile everything that has been wounded and put into disharmony.
It's good. But it's also, and now then I also feel like my inspirational moments are inadequate after you do your thing.
I follow that. I'm glad I didn't have to follow that.
I just love it though, because I think a lot, obviously I love to garden and I'm very earthy in everything you were saying, but it's like, we lose those moments. As children, it's like you're playing, all you want to do is make a mud pie. Yeah. And it's so wonderful to, when you have children, rediscover your childhood. And because you want to have time with them, then you're forced to reconnect with that and just be like, yes, like the dirt, like I will return to this. Like I'm always just thinking like life is like that. And I'm going to be ash one day. Yeah. Just like, I came from the earth and it's all just like the truth written all around us if we have eyes to see it.
I love the line made of the same stuff.
Right? Like if you have the ears to hear the storm. Yeah.
Aw. It goes together. Aaron, are you going to join us? Are we going to be a triangle of nature?
We're not, shockingly.
Shocking.
Shockingly.
He called me an old lady. Like we're going to have some serious problems.
I said it's like when the old lady.
Okay. I'm bringing my knitting the next
He's going to crochet and read.
I've already brought my knitting, but I'm going to actually sit and knit while we have our podcast. Anyway, go.
But mine is so lame now. It's actually not, but it's so different. But
that's okay.
That's why
Keeps it fun.
That's why this.
Every storm is different, Aaron.
Right.
She's a comedian.
But that's why this podcast is so funny, because Kerrie and I genuinely do love each other. We really do.
We really do.
But we can be so alike, but we can also be so different. But so in what I do, which is different. You guys are singer-songwriters. In what I do, Lana, you may not even know this. I moved to Nashville because I wanted to be a basketball coach.
Mind blown.
So
did not know that.
I actually had an opportunity. I thought I was going to be able to coach and whatever. Not the point of the story, but that was kind of my path. Then I actually did coach some, and everything I've done and still do, I have a little bit of coach mentality, right? I mean, would you agree with that?
I can totally see it.
Right?
Yeah.
And there are times that I say things and I feel like I'm just saying it over and over and over. Sometimes my artists and my clients feel like my kids. I'm like, if you would just do what I ask, this is not because, just trust me. I've been doing this a long time. And, I'm obviously wrong sometimes. There are times I'm like, hey, try this, and it doesn't work. But there are moments that I'm like, sometimes I get the text or I get the call. I'm like, man, I wish I would have done what you asked. Right. So I sometimes have moments where I go home and I'm like, am I just do I not know what I'm talking about? Because I say, hey, we should try this, and nobody wants to do it. Or, this person or that person, whether it's a legal client or an artist I'm writing with or producing or whatever, I'm like, am I just white noise? And so I remember last week telling somebody just over and over and over again, look, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. It is more difficult than you think it's going to be. Yes, you're great. Yes, your hometown thinks you are it. When you get to Nashville, it is going to be harder than anything you've ever done. But stick with it. It will be worth it. Trust me, I've been there, right? So I don't remember how I said it, but I watch, my TikTok algorithm is a lot of basketball coaches, a lot of motivational speakers. And I remember watching just last week a certain coach, and I guess an assistant coach or somebody was videoing. She was addressing her team, and she was like, look, I've been where you want to go. I've won national championships since she was a college coach. I've won a national championship for the team that I am now coaching. I've won national championships. I've done exactly what you want to do. And I sit here and go, hey, writer, you want a major publishing deal? I've done it. I've gotten there. I've recouped it. I've done the thing. This is what it's going to take. And so she looked over. She's like, you're going to hate me because I'm going to ask you to do things you don't want to do. But if you do it, it will be worth it. You may or may not win the national championship, but you will look back and say it's worth it. And so I was like, oh, I'm inspired. Not that I'm saying the right thing, but that I'm just not white noise. You know what I mean? Other people are saying the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
So not as cool as
No, I love that.
earthworms.
That was great.
It's
And the capillaries of the cucumber vine. Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to be white noise.
It was good.
So we are going to leave you guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching me. But we're going to leave you with Permanent.
I've been hiding, afraid of what might come if I stop lying. Just let my walls fall down and let the light in. I'm praying everything will be okay. Yeah, I've been wishing for more than where I've been, always fishing. looking for validation, and the less I get, the more I slip away. But my heart's still rolling like tires on that Cadillac, and my road's still open. Got half a tank of I ain't done yet. I know when I look back, I see the roses through the cracks, and I won't be afraid to face the hurt in it, 'cause this ain't permanent. No, this ain't permanent. I've been living under pressure of my own indecision. Sometimes it's hard to know which direction I should go in. I guess maybe faith is never knowing, but choosing to believe that my heart's still rolling like tires on that Cadillac, and my road's still open. Got half a tank of I ain't done yet. I know when I look back, I see the roses through the cracks, and I won't be afraid to face the hurt in it, 'cause this ain't permanent. No, this ain't permanent. My heart's still rolling like tires on that Cadillac, and my road's still open. Got a full tank of I ain't done yet. Oh, my road's still open, and I know when I look back, I see the roses through the cracks, and I won't be afraid to face the hurt in it, 'cause this ain't permanent. No, this ain't permanent.
Yes, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
So
both for
great
having me. This has
great
been
to
so
meet you.
fun. Y'all are awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for listening to Yep and That Too, a podcast for creatives. Yep and That Too is hosted by Kerrie Roberts and Aaron Rice, co-produced by Sarah Rice and Maven Media Productions. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Yep and That Too Podcast, with new episodes every other Wednesday. Like, comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. The information on this podcast is for general information purposes only. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as legal advice for any individual case or situation. This information is not intended to create, and receipt of or listening to does not constitute an attorney-client relationship.